Welcome. I am Tony Taylor, and I am the connector. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with me. Today I have two really, really good friends of mine, Heather Geary Meredith, who I've known forever. Like, we basically grew up together,
Yep.
even though I'm a little more older. And then I have a wonderful daughter, Becky, who I've known since birth. Oh my God. Becky, how old are you?
28.
Oh my God. That's impossible because I'm 29. That flew by. So today our show is about disability. And so a lot of times people just take things for granted, like in this walking around on earth. And so today I'm going to talk to Becky and her mom, Heather, my BFF, about disability because Becky is visually impaired. And we're going to talk about what that looked like, how she grew up with it, and what year it was when she got diagnosed, and how she functions and lives today. So first, Heather, I'm going to start with you. So how old was Becky when she was diagnosed? Is it Stargardt's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Stargardt. It's a juvenile form of macular degeneration.
Okay.
And, it gets worse as she gets older.
Okay.
And it caps out about adolescence.
Okay.
So, there were no real early signs until she got into kindergarten and she couldn't color in the lines. And we joke,
Yeah.
because she would bring her little drawings home, and I'm like, the hell? I was like, she's like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, yes. And she was still coloring like that when she was in like the 4th grade.
Okay.
So just kidding, but it's true. So I just thought she couldn't draw. So, and every time they would do like an eye test at school, which way is the big E? And she would get the notification home that we need to take her to the eye doctor. Took her to the eye doctor. And, we were in the room, they turn off the lights, which way is the big E? And she's looking at it, and I'm like, your alphabet. You better point to that big E. Because she was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so they would give her, glasses for reading, and they didn't help because wasn't the problem.
Okay.
So we didn't actually figure out that, she wouldn't sit in the living room and watch TV with us. She would always sit in the kitchen right on top of the TV.
Yeah, because we had like a little TV on like the counter.
I remember
so I'd pull
that.
like a bar stool up and sit there and watch TV and eat or, whatever. But I would never sit in there with them because I couldn't see it. And I didn't realize that I wasn't seeing it. To me, it was just boring. It didn't keep my attention because I couldn't see what was going on.
Okay.
But in the kitchen, I could get a lot closer. So,
Yeah.
and, I could watch my own shows in there. I could watch Hannah Montana or, whatever.
Yeah, and so how was it in the kitchen? So you could see it in the kitchen, but so tell me a little bit about Stargardt's because I think that's the confusion. Is it you can see straight ahead but no peripheral?
It's the opposite. So
Okay.
I have peripheral vision, but I have no center vision.
Gotcha.
So I have a blind spot in the middle of, my, I guess.
The retina?
Yeah, God, I should know that. Yeah. And, I have no center vision at all.
Okay.
So my blind spot is, it's just kind of like a ball, and it just kind of like moves around, and it's got like kind of like colors in it and stuff.
Okay.
But like right now I can't see you at all.
Okay.
And
Is it 'cause I'm black?
the contrast doesn't help. But and that's a big part of why I can't drive, because my blind spot could cover up a car.
Yeah.
So I have peripheral vision, and even then my peripheral vision is blurry. Because my vision acuity is I have 2200 in my left eye and 2400 in my right eye. So my right eye is worse of the two.
Okay.
And it's a multi-gene condition. So I got it from both my mom and my dad. And there was a 25% chance that any, me, Wade, or Seth could have it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Seth and Wade had equal percentage of getting it as I did. They just didn't get it.
They didn't get it. Mm-mm. Now, is it higher in males versus females?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
And now that you have a child, a beautiful baby, could it be passed down to her?
So Riley will be a carrier of the genetic mutation because I own that gene. It's called the gene that's mutated is called the ABCA4 gene. I only have a mutated copy of that gene. So I did pass that on to her. So she will be a carrier of the genetic mutation, but she can't get it unless Bobby, my husband, has that exact same genetic mutation. And even then, it's still only a 25% chance. Unless I were to have had a baby with somebody who also has Stargardt's disease. Okay. Then we would obviously only pass on copies of that mutated gene, and so Riley would have gotten it.
Okay.
But, that's not our situation. And even Riley now, I mean, if she ever did have it, I would be really surprised. I mean, she can see. I mean, you can tell that she can see really well. So I'm not worried about her, but we'll do what we need to do when she gets bigger and get her tested and stuff.
Yeah, but at her age, I couldn't tell anything with you either. Nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Now, and so eventually down the road, she'll get tested. If she starts to present signs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll just take her to like a regular optometrist. I mean, she wouldn't need to go to like a retinal specialist like I do. But I'm sure we could take her to, just to get her eyes checked and kind of go from there because since I know that I have a vision issue, we would make sure she gets checked out. But like with my mom and dad, it's not like a dentist. You don't really take your kids to the eye doctor routinely unless there's an issue. Sure. So,
well, every year they told me she needed to go to because when they do the school thing.
Yeah.
So we took her several times, and they just kept, they would give her glasses or change her prescription, and that wasn't helping at all.
Yeah.
So
was that frustrating as a parent? Or you just thought, she's just getting a new pair of glasses?
I mean, it was frustrating, but at the same time, we didn't know she couldn't see.
Okay.
And there was, and you only noticed the fact that she would sit so close to the TV, because all kids do that.
Sure.
You didn't notice it. It was kind of like hindsight.
Yeah.
And then we would be, I would be in the bed reading a book, so she would be next to me, and she'd have her glasses on, and she'd be reading her little book, and she would say, I need my glasses. And I'm like, well, you're nearsighted, so you don't really need your glasses to see your book, but nothing was helping. So
sure.
But and so it wasn't until we took her when she was the fourth grade. Mm-hmm. You came home and said she couldn't see the board or her papers.
Oh wow.
And then he blew up a picture of her macula. Mm-hmm. And recommended us to go to Duke. So we took her to Duke, and that's when they diagnosed the Stargardt's.
Oh, I didn't even know. Now, why would you have to go to Duke as opposed to, because we have UVA, VCU, MCV?
That's where they said.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe at Duke they had, maybe like from a visual aspect, there was a doctor there that
specialized.
Yeah, the doctor that I saw at Duke was Dr. Cousins. And we were there all day, and they had me do a bunch of different eye tests. I remember specifically they would do like the color blindness chart where you have to find the number and almost what looks like a mosaic kind of picture.
Yeah.
Because I'm colorblind as well. And then that's where they had diagnosed me. And then from then on, I've not been back to Duke since, but from then on, I go to the Retina Institute of Virginia. I go there once a year.
Okay. And is there any cure for Stargardt's?
There's Stargardt's is the most common form of macular degeneration, so it's not rare, Okay. So there is a lot of studies going on and stuff like that, but as of right now, there isn't. There's another eye condition that's very, very similar to Stargardt's, but it's seen more commonly in much younger children, and they have kind of made a breakthrough with that, I believe. Okay. But as far as Stargardt's goes, no, there's no cure for it yet, which I'm okay with,
Was it hard to come into terms with that initially when you were younger, when you first got diagnosed?
I don't think it was for me maybe as much as it was for my mom and dad because I was still young. I was only 10.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, finding out at 10 years old that you're never going to be able to drive, I think hits a little bit differently than had they told me at 15.
Yeah.
Because it was still something that seemed so far away.
And you could process it.
Yeah, that it really wasn't as big of a deal. But I don't think it was, at least to my knowledge, if there was ever a part in a period in time where it was a lot harder for me, it doesn't stick out in my mind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that I dealt with it pretty well. I just think maybe it was a little bit more difficult for my parents because for me, nothing was changing. I just now knew kind of what was going on.
Okay.
Because I think also there was a point in time where maybe my parents questioned like my intellect because they didn't know what was going on with my vision.
Yeah.
So maybe was there something else going on, cognitively?
Yeah.
Because I feel like with your vision, it's not something you can see from the outside.
Sure.
So it's not, it wasn't like there was something physical and they could, it was easy to pinpoint what was going on.
Sure.
Yeah, and before she got her diagnosis, I mean, it was frustrating because you're reading with her. She did learn to read, and you're reading with her, and she'll get the word on one page, and the next page she wouldn't get, and it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of the way, because I would be like, "Go read with your dad,"
Yeah,
because we didn't know.
Because you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know, and then sometimes you just handle it in a different manner. Like in my last show, I was talking about how rearing kids is like one child, sometimes the kid goes to the parent for different things. And so, sometimes we're frustrated too because we don't know what the real problem is as a parent. And so we're trying to like navigate through work and cooking and then homework. Homework has always been a chore that is never the best at all times. It can be frustrating.
Well, you were with me through that whole thing. You don't remember me coming?
No, I remember. No, I remember you saying that we took her to get, and she has Stargardts, and I looked it up because nobody knew what it was, and then you was like, it's macular degeneration, and I was like, that's in people usually 55 and above. Mm-hmm. And then I remember you saying that she had special provisions at school later. They would blow up her stuff so that she could read the material, see the material.
So when she was in elementary, like I said, we found it in 4th grade, and then we got her, what's the one that you had when we were at school?
What, a piece of equipment or like a person?
No.
Test?
No, your provisions. It was called.
I hadn't. Well, at first, I think we started out with the 504 plan.
Yeah.
And then from there, we transitioned to an IEP. And I had an IEP from probably, I would probably say either the 5th or 6th grade and then on through when I graduated high school. And then in college, I don't think it was it was an IEP, but it was still, I had accommodations that the school offered me. So I kind of was able to keep those accommodations really from when we found out even until now. I mean, I have accommodations at work. So that was kind of something that followed me, that I having a case with the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired, I've really been able to get a lot of good stuff that, really just kind of helped me through school, because otherwise, I don't know what I would have done.
Now, did you find that it was harder with your vision? Because, we take so much for granted. So we can see the paper, and especially with math, the numbers, and like learning a language or different stuff. You can't see, so it just makes it that much harder.
Yeah, it did.
And then you said something, sorry to cut you off, but you said something about you thought your parents might have thought you were intellectually challenged, but that wasn't the case at all. But so was it harder with not being able to see the material and also being able to grasp the material?
I would say yes and no. Just kind of like anything else, you learn to adapt. Mm-hmm. So I think that I just kind of had to figure out a different way of learning. So, obviously I relied a lot on listening, and I also had an aide that went with me to all of my classes. starting in the 8th grade, and then it kind of followed me through I graduated high school. And so that was really helpful because she was with me in every single class. So she could help me because she was basically learning all this material right along with me. And, you know, she would help me make sure I had all the equipment that I needed, and, you know, all my papers were enlarged. And, you know, once I got a laptop through my school, that was kind of a game changer too. It wasn't so much on pencil and paper because that contrast is just so difficult for me with the black words on like a white background.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, it was difficult, but also, if I'm being totally honest, as a high school student, I just cared more about hanging out with my friends. I wasn't at home studying. You know, I had a teacher, when I started high school, I had a study skills teacher, and she was my study skills teacher from 9th through 12th grade. And I don't think that I would have made it through high school without her. Yeah. She's still very much a part of my life today. She was at my wedding. Awesome. She's met Riley.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, Denise Moore. She was amazing. Absolutely wonderful. And I think my mom and dad, not that they wanted like a hands-off approach, but they knew that she knew what she was doing. So they just really let her take the reins. And
she was part of Chesterfield County?
Yeah.
Midlothian High School.
Midlothian High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were going to get Becky through middle school, but Midlothian High School was great.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Because of this woman.
Shout out to Denise Moore.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Denise.
Yeah, she was wonderful. I love her. Yeah, she's great. And I was not the only child who she was an instrumental part of them really kind of making it through school. I mean, she was just wonderful. And so, yeah, I mean, learning was a little bit more difficult, you know, like you'd mentioned math. I mean, you know, the decimals and all that stuff, it wasn't easy, but I just had to adapt and figure out a different way to do things. And like I always do, you know, I figured it out and I graduated. You know, was I, you know, an honor student? No, but that was a little bit more due to me being lazy.
I think that was a different reason. That was because of your vision.
Yeah.
That was because of your action.
She was in trouble for talking a lot in class, too.
Well, I wonder where she gets that from.
I don't know.
Beyond me.
Because your dad's a talker, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
At one point, her aide quit on her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What grade was that?
Because Becky didn't like her.
Oh, that was in the 8th grade.
Becky didn't like her telling her to put her phone down. She didn't like her.
I mean, at 8th
telling her
grade.
to stop talking.
Yeah.
Becky said, "You're not my mother."
Yeah.
I mean, middle school is hard anyway.
It is hard.
Because you're trying to figure out who you are, what to do, and where you want to go in life. And then you got somebody like constantly chewing on your ear, like, put your phone away. And you're like, you're not at home. So she really isn't your parent.
Yeah.
But she was assigned to you through the school.
Yeah. I'm sure there was a point in time where I was like, you work for me, okay?
I'm sure.
Poor woman.
Even though you weren't paying her anything.
Now, so since your vision is impaired, have you noticed that your other senses are better? Like your hearing, your smell, your taste? Because I've heard that is true.
Maybe, but I just think that because my vision I've always had bad vision, I don't have anything to compare it to.
Sure.
So like, you know, like for example, somebody who maybe loses their vision later in life or loses their hearing or their, you know, whatever, maybe you would have something to compare it to, but because this has been my normal my whole life, I'm not sure. And I'd like to think I have pretty decent hearing. But I you know, I don't know if it's different than it would have been, you know, otherwise.
And you said, so after high school, you went to college too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how was it college life? Did you have an IEP in college or somebody assigned to you as well?
No. So the school, again, there was another woman there at Ferrum College who worked in like the office of oh gosh, what was it? Almost kind of like the EEO, like, but not obviously not for employers, but you know, it was that office on campus for students with disabilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And we went and met with her when we went in for the tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, her name was Nancy Beach. She was absolutely wonderful. She was there my whole 4 years of Ferrum. And she just really kind of helped me navigate because it was different than it was in high school. I did not have an aide that was with me in all my classes, which I think I would have preferred that. When I was in I started kindergarten and graduated from the high school I was supposed to. I went K through 12 with so many of the same kids.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I had switched switched schools a bunch, and then this kid's coming in, with this lady following her around. So that was an easy transition for me with getting an aide, because I knew everybody I went to school with. They already knew I couldn't see very well. And, my aide in high school, her name was Miss Brown. She just kind of became like one of the girls, all my friends would talk to her. She knew probably way more than she ever wanted to. So that wasn't difficult. I think had I transitioned to college and had somebody following me around, that probably would have been a little bit of a tougher pill to swallow.
Now, Heather, as a parent, for you, sending your child, because it's scary sending your kid off to college without vision impairment. So how did you fear for her safety, or?
Well, one of the reasons why we chose Ferrum was because it's a small school.
Okay.
And so after going and looking at the campus, and, we knew that her dorm would be somewhere where she could navigate easily to her classes. And we met Mrs. Beach. And then Becky went to, what do you go to that little?
Oh, the focus program.
Yeah, before.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2-week program for freshmen before your freshman year starts, and you can earn 3 credits. And I got to go. I went as a punishment because I was not trying to end my summer early. And my dad, I got in a little bit of trouble, and my dad was like, "No, you're going." And it was the best decision that he ever could have.
Shout out, Dan. Shout out, Dan.
It was the best decision ever. I went, and there was about 15 other kids there, and they were all freshmen, and I got to live in the dorms, and we went to classes, and I met one of my best friends in that program. Her name's Cassie. I actually talked to her last night. Wow. And so I've known her for 10 years now. And so that was really helpful, I think, in my parents having a little bit of peace with me going away to school, because I got to have that trial run of being there, and I got to learn the campus and navigate when there was only maybe 50 people on campus instead of, hundreds of people on campus. Yeah, so that was really easy. That was really nice.
Has your vision changed since college? Or is it about the same?
It's changed a little bit, but it's such a small change that I haven't noticed it. It's not like I am saying, oh, well, I could see this before and now I can. It's been such a small change. I will say, after I had Riley, I did notice kind of a shift in my vision. I feel like, I feel like maybe it's kind of equaled back out because I don't notice it anymore, or maybe I'm just so used to it. But I did feel like I noticed a shift in my vision after I had Riley, and I have heard that before.
Yeah, well, when I had kids, you notice a shift in your vision after you have kids.
Yeah. So I don't feel like that anymore, but like I said, it could just be because I'm used to it now. But overall, I think everything kind of leveled off, at least. And I know just according to the doctor, things have changed, but from my perspective, I think things really kind of leveled off. I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, I would say.
Now, how often do you go to your doctor?
I go once a year.
Just once a year?
Mm-hmm. There's been times where he has wanted to see me back in 6 months, but that's been pretty few and far between. Okay. So I go once a year, and he checks me out and he kind of updates me on anything as far as a cure is concerned, and then he just says, "See you back in a year." So is
it the same physician?
Yes, I've been seeing him since I got diagnosed at 10 years old. So I've been seeing him for 18 years.
Dr. Tabazian.
His name is Dr. Tabazian at the Retina Institute of Virginia.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he's great. So he has really seen me grow up. I had a doctor's appointment in April of 2023. And then I had a doctor's appointment in April of 2024. So he saw me. I was not pregnant. He saw me again, and I was going in with a 2-month-old. Wow. And he was like, "There is no way that's yours." I was like, "She's mine."
Well, she looks just like you. Yeah. So you can't deny her.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Riley. So let's talk about Riley. How is your day-to-day life, navigating through your work, but also navigating having a toddler who's now walking, running? How is that for you?
Yeah. Work is easy. Not easy, but, all my work is on the computer. So, I have a vision software, and, it's the same software I've been using since high school. So, as far as the work frontage, everything is good. As far as the baby side, she is a lot, and she's all over the place.
I wonder where she gets that from.
Me neither. I have absolutely no idea how people do more than one.
Yeah.
Because I will not be having another one. There's things that have been a little bit difficult. Like, we've recently moved, so we have a fenced-in backyard now. And she loves to be outside.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to take her out there and just let her run around the backyard with the dogs and play, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it by myself.
When Becky's outside, she's completely blind.
Yeah.
With the sun?
Oh, from the sun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sun makes it really difficult. If it's really overcast, that can make it difficult too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, like the other week, me and my husband were outside with Riley, and he can see, and she still walks up to us with an acorn in her mouth. So, I don't want to take her outside by myself. So those things, I do feel a little guilty because, there's just things that she loves to go outside and do. And when I'm alone with her, I just don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I think we manage.
Yeah.
When she was little, like really, really little, changing her diaper sometimes made me nervous because I was worried that maybe I wasn't going to get her clean enough. But
yeah.
We're fine with that now.
You're good. Yeah.
I change a poopy diaper, just like as good as the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, there's nothing that I can't do for her that, like, say my husband can. I mean, other than driving her places.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that I can't do for her that he can. I'll always be pretty. But
she would have me on FaceTime when she's feeding Riley, and I'm like, it's so frustrating because I see that spoon and Riley's over here going, and it's all over her face.
She's for an airplane.
Yeah.
But she don't know there's an airplane she's chasing.
Yeah. But, I feel like I've just adapted with having a baby. Her and I just kind of had to learn together.
Yeah.
So, and as she gets older, I'm interested to see when it kind of clicks to her that I don't see good.
Sure.
And kind of how she navigates that.
Yeah.
And how she goes through life, she's going to have to, explain that in school or to her friends or, so it'll be interesting to me when it kind of clicks for her. Obviously that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
How old's little Riley?
She'll be 2 in February.
Wow. And she's born on your birthday, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. We have the same birthday.
Well, that's a gift.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was Super Bowl Sunday that year too. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It was because it was last year. So we watched the Super Bowl from St. Francis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think then there's probably still people who I went to school with, who I went to high school with, who probably still to this day don't know that I don't see very well.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Because you can tell.
You can't tell by looking at her.
No, you can't. But I've known you since you were born. So I remember, like, when you first got diagnosed, and then I remember you still had a lot of freedom, though. You still did a lot of things with your impairment that even seeing people.
Well, she got her black belt.
Yeah, exactly. With Eric Easter. Shout out, Eric.
Yeah. I got my black belt before I even knew that I had a vision impairment. I got my black belt at 9 and I got diagnosed at 10. So, and don't ask me how I did it because I have no idea. I just did it. It was just my normal.
Yeah.
I just figured it out. And I don't know. Now, I will say, when I was younger, before I knew that I couldn't see very well, I think I had a lot less fear. Yeah. I would ride my bikes around the neighborhood with my friends.
You did?
Yep. I would rollerblade around the neighborhood. I'd get on my little motor scooter, ride that around the neighborhood. I did karate. But then once I found out, it was almost like I was scared to do those things because I was scared to get hurt.
Yeah, because it's fear.
Not that I couldn't have gotten hurt before, but I think just knowing that there is something wrong, it was almost just like a mental block. And I was just, I still did things for sure because I am a social person. I like to have fun, and I have a long life ahead of me, and I'm not willing to just, sacrifice hanging out with friends or my family and having experiences just because it might be a little bit more difficult. I mean, I went to so many concerts in high school, and, I couldn't see it, but I could listen, and I could still enjoy the experience without being able to see what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the concert Pink.
We went and saw Pink and Justin Timberlake.
And she went, and that was right after she found out.
Yeah, because, we had good seats, so.
I just remember her asking me, where's Pink? And I'm like, she's right there.
Yeah.
And just her, usually when you're watching a concert like that, your eyes are following, the person singing, and Becky's was just, you could tell she was not focusing on anything.
Yeah.
And that's when it first kind of clicked for me. I was like, wow.
Nicole went too, right?
Yeah.
It was you, Debbie, and I, and our Sade and Leah, Becky, and then Cindy and Nicole.
Yeah.
God, that was a blast from the past.
Yeah.
How old were you then? 9?
If I had already been diagnosed, I must have at least been 10. Actually, I know that I was 10 because I was in the 4th grade, because you got me a t-shirt from that. It was his Future Sex Love Show tour.
Yes.
And my t-shirt said on the back of it, Future Sex Love Show, and my teacher made me take it off. Luckily I had another shirt on underneath, but she made me take it off and said that I couldn't wear it to school again.
Becky's promoting sex.
Oh my God.
In the 4th grade.
Now, so let's talk about your work. So you said, how was that to get employment? Like filling out applications online? Did you interview in person?
Oh God, yes. I am an awful interviewer. I hope I never have to do it again. But so when I graduated from college, I had a case manager with the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired. And he told me about a job fair that they were doing at DBVI. And it was like a 2 or 3 day thing. And it was for, the members of DBVI who are visually impaired. And I went, it was like a 2 or 3 day thing, and we would go and we would kind of work on our resume. We would, they would give us interview skills and all this other kinds of stuff. And then on the 3rd day, we had what was called like a reverse job fair. So we, as, employment seekers would set up a table, and the employers, I mean, they were legitimate employers. There were people from UCrops there. There was people from,
I can't see Becky making your mac and cheese.
I think it was probably cake decorating.
Yo, cake decorating.
But
happy birthday. This does not say happy birthday.
But so I went to that, and a man approached me, Jack Bednar.
Oh, I know Jack.
And he worked for, maybe still does, I'm not sure, because I really haven't kept up with him since
Jack
I left.
Hard now. I think Jack lives in Florida now.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. But he approached me. He worked for the Virginia Industries to the Blind, and they help to employ people who are visually impaired. And so the job that I was applying for was for a contract specialist. I was applying to be a subcontractor for the Defense Contract Management Agency. And so I got an interview, and they hired me on the spot. I had to, go home and wait for my background investigation.
We were nervous about that.
One little stint in jail did not stop me from getting a job, okay?
Yeah.
It's so crazy because Jack Bednar is Debbie and Becky and Christy and all of them. They both worked for Heather and I when we had the salon together. Becky worked on the front desk, Debbie worked on the front desk, and then Debbie went on to become a stylist, and then she left and became so it's so full circle that Jack Bednar, of all people, was the guy that hired you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's retired military.
Yeah. A lot of people, I was hired through the Virginia Industries for the Blind, but I was hired to work in this program called the Ability One program. And they hire individuals, obviously qualifying individuals, but that are visually impaired or veterans.
Okay.
So everybody that I worked with at the Virginia Industries for the Blind, we were all visually impaired or veterans, which was kind of a neat thing because up until then, there was one person I went to college with who was visually impaired. Otherwise, I didn't have any sense of community with anybody who could relate to me. So that was really kind of cool to enter into this workforce and all of people who, honestly, 90% of them saw way worse than I did.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around there like, I can see good. And so that's how I got my job. And then I worked there for
same job, or you?
No, so I worked there for a year and a half. And then in June of 2021, I moved to the federal government, and I now work for the Defense Logistics Agency. And so I've been doing that since June of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And with work,
And that one is totally remote?
No, I am working remote because I have reasonable accommodations, but it is an in-person job.
Okay.
And then when I was working for VIB, my first day, I met this guy named Bradley, and he was just incredible. He has since passed away, but he was wonderful. And I mean, he just taught me so much stuff. He helped me get the job at DLA because, once he left VIB, I was like, okay, you can't leave me here. So he helped me get the job with VIB.
And he was visually impaired as well.
Yeah. Yeah. He was totally blind. Mm-hmm.
Totally blind.
Yes. He had retinitis pigmentosa. And that does cause people to lose, to totally lose their vision.
And what did he do, if you don't mind me asking?
Was for work, he did the same thing I did.
But how?
They have different programs. So, like for me, because I still do have some vision, I use a program called Zoom Text, which basically kind of enlarges everything, and it can read to me and I can change the contrast. But he used a program called JAWS, and he just listened to everything.
Wow.
Everything. And he would know all the there were so many keystrokes. I mean, he could literally do anything with just his keyboard.
Wow.
I mean, I would walk into his cube and his computer wouldn't even be on. Like the screen would be off because he just all he used was his keyboard.
The keyboard. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he played guitar. I mean, he played all kinds of instruments. He started teaching me about like investing and, trying to, be good with my money. His wife was actually our wedding photographer. She came.
Really?
She was at our wedding. Yeah, he was there too. He was at our wedding. And
she was my wedding photographer too.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Oh, I was at your wedding?
Yeah. Kylie Henson Photography. She's wonderful.
Is she still doing it?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, she is.
She is? Okay. Okay, then yeah. Yeah, she is. So, but yeah, I've really gotten to meet a lot of great people. And, even Bradley also really made me feel comfortable about becoming a mom because he has a son. A little boy named Leo. And so, I would ask him, like, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to raise this baby and I can't see very well? And he said, you figure it out just like I did. Wow. He said, you're going to figure it out and everything's going to be fine.
Isn't that crazy how people come into your life at the right moment in time and give you all these little tips and tricks and like confidence boosts as well just to like help you? Because you may not have decided to have a child had it not been for Bradley.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Or be as efficient in your current job if it wasn't for Bradley.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I had an issue with anything, I would call him.
Okay.
I mean, his wife called me his work wife.
Yeah, that's like
Heather was my work wife.
Yeah.
Debbie would call Heather my work wife. Who you on the phone with? Oh, it's my work wife.
Yeah.
Who's Heather?
Yeah. So, and I think another part of it is I've just never been the type of person where, I mean, yeah, I don't see very well and it sucks sometimes. And I would be lying if I said that, over the course of my life, it hasn't really been difficult for me, but it could be worse.
Absolutely.
And I have great friends and a great family and, you only have one life, so I just want to enjoy it.
Yes.
I mean, I've never been the type of person to just, say, woe is me. Mm-hmm. And I make a lot more money than people on disability are making. So,
absolutely.
I'm just going to keep going. And I think another thing is, mom and dad never just swooped in and took over when I got diagnosed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they found out and then I was, then they almost just kind of put me in like, this box of, okay, you can't do anything now.
Yeah.
And that really helped because, they didn't just swoop in and take over. I mean, they taught me to be independent and do things myself. I mean,
And we didn't really treat you any differently.
No, I mean, I could
Which is
cook
good.
and clean, and I can take care of Riley, and I can take care of myself, and I'm doing just fine. So would it be easier if I could see? I mean, absolutely, but that's just not the hand that I was dealt, and I mean, I'm fine with that.
Have they talked about any advancements in medicine as far as like retina repair or, different
What about your
eye surgeries or LASIK or
Yeah, I mean,
anything coming to the market that you know of?
I mean, the only thing that they've really kind of talked to me about time and time again is gene therapy. But even then, I mean, it's just still not 100%.
What does that entail?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, because it's not an option. I'm sure maybe my doctor has gone over it with me in the past, but honestly, some of this stuff is a little bit over my head. I mean, I don't always understand a lot of the medical stuff.
Yeah.
And because it's not an option, he just hasn't really gone into a ton of detail. I will say my blood is like a sample of my blood is in a database somewhere. So if a cure were to become available that would match my genetic markers, I would be notified.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's a big thing too, is that's kind of, I think, a way to help people, assuming that, your DNA is in this database, kind of a way to help people not kind of just like fall, kind of get swept under the rug when it comes to any sort of advancements. But I mean, until I hear otherwise, I'm just going to keep going to the doctor. And I mean, I'm still young. So, even if it's 30 years down the road, I mean, if I could just have any point of my lifetime where I could even, maybe even have the possibility to drive or, even just see my daughter's face from across a room. I mean, even if it's just temporarily, I would be so grateful for that. But if it doesn't happen, I mean, that's fine too.
Yeah.
To be able to jump in the car and go to the grocery store.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, it's and not to say that people take advantage of, things like that, because I'm sure that there's things that I take advantage of. I have good hearing.
Yeah.
So, you can't, it's hard to not kind of take advantage of things that you have.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of it too, is, just the freedom of not being able, or I guess the lack of not being able to drive is difficult, but Bobby drives me around, and, mom comes to pick me up if I need it. And my mother-in-law is great. She helps me with stuff. So, I get around.
Yeah. Takes a village, right?
I don't know how I would do it if I didn't have one.
Because Heather, you have Riley on Wednesdays?
I keep her every Wednesday.
How's that?
It's great. She's amazing. She's very smart. So cute. She did have a little breakdown in Target last week. You saw me there. I apologize.
Mom said she had to abandon cart.
I did. I abandoned ship. I mean,
You're a little out of practice because Seth is 20.
yeah.
So you're just a little rough.
I mean, Becky used to up in the U-crops, So, but yeah, I mean, Becky is amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She doesn't even know how amazing she is. And I'm proud of her. I'm so proud of her. But she's also, she finds humor.
Oh, my God, yes.
She laughs. She laughs at herself. Yeah. Oh, the stories. Like, she worked at the salon for a little while. She did towels.
Oh, she did towels.
Yeah.
I remember.
And the girls would send her across the street to the grocery store
With change.
to buy them stuff.
They'd give me like a handful of quarters and tell, give me a fountain soda.
And Becky tripped over one of the little, concrete things in the parking lot. And all the change went flying, and she just came on back to the salon.
I said, I'm going to need some bills next time.
I need a $1 bill.
Yeah.
I definitely knocked one of the doors off of the track, too. I just kept it moving. Kept it moving. I'm not turning around. So
I think I did that once at U-Crops.
Yeah.
My knee hit the door, and it went off the track, and they had to come and fix it. Yeah. And I can see.
Yeah. And when I was in college, oh my God, wet floor signs.
Oh. How many of them did you knock down?
Oh my God. I was in
Like a
college.
bowling alley.
Yes. And I walked into my dorm one day and there was just like a group of people kind of standing in the walkway. So I went to walk around them and I stepped with my left foot. And when I went to step with my right foot, it made contact with that wet floor sign. I mean, you would have thought I was a kicker
Oh, God.
on the football team because it went flying. I didn't skip a beat. I just kept it moving.
Kept it moving.
Right to my room.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
I don't know what that was. It wasn't me. And my brothers, I mean, you know,
Seth.
especially Seth. Seth is
Seth.
always...
I remember the facial mask.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Tell them about the
The
facial.
facial mask with bacon grease and oatmeal and milk.
Mom had been complaining about how she thought she looked old. So I'd come home from probably a night out. I don't know where I was.
Yeah.
But I came home and I walk in the house and there's a cookie sheet with with aluminum foil on it and some white substance. And I'm like, Seth, what is this? And he's, you know, laying on the couch and he just says without skipping a beat, you know, oh, Mom's making her a moisturizer. I'm like,
That's the...
I'm like, it makes sense. She's been talking about looking old. That makes sense. So I'm like, oh, is it done? He's like, yeah, you just need to get your hands wet a little bit and rub it in. I'm like, okay. Like, that all makes so much sense. I'm like, Seth, what is the main ingredient in this?
Why does it smell like bacon?
She rubbed it all over her face.
No, I rubbed it on my hands. I hadn't gotten to the face yet. And Seth was like, Becky, you're so stupid. Mom just made bacon this morning. It has to throw the grease away. I was like, well, my hands are smooth as a baby's butt. So she could be onto something.
Yeah.
Or that time, Cindy, when Mom lived at her old house, the Abbey Village
my
house,
God.
the corner was the bus stop.
Yeah.
So a lot of times there would be
remember that
like,
story.
you know, parents parked outside. And Cindy, Mom Cindy was coming to pick me up because we were going to my cousin's wedding dress fitting. And this white car pulls up, so I hop in the back. And
Well,
I'm
Seth
like,
told you it was Cindy.
yeah, I think all roads lead back to Seth.
Yeah.
And I hop in the back seat, and I'm like, why's there a car seat back here? And this lady in the front seat turns around and is like, who are you? I was like, oh my God. And I just hopped out of the car and ran inside.
You could at least told her you were visually impaired, Becky.
Well, I'm just like in that split second, I see the car seat. I'm like, Cindy babysitting now? Did you pick up a part-time job? I mean, oh
Becky
my
has
God.
jumped into several cars.
Yeah.
Remember that one where the lady pulled up at Ferrum and you were expecting your boyfriend?
Yeah. I got in her car. Or when we were leaving the gym and I got in our trainer's car and he texted you and said, tell Becky to get out of my car. I'm like, why do all these people just leave the doors unlocked? Y'all gotta start locking your doors. Oh my God. If I couldn't laugh, I would cry because some of this stuff, you just can't make it up.
You can't.
I mean, you have to laugh at yourself.
You do.
You know, I mean, for, you know,
Because
whatever it is.
If you don't laugh at yourself, you get depressed, you feel sorry for yourself, woe is me. And like you said, you have a great job. You make a lot more money than somebody on disability that's not willing to work or willing to put themselves out there to be challenged.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always easy.
Because I remember you used to, when you got the job with Jack Bednar, a shuttle would come and get you.
Well, at first it was a shuttle and they were always late. And so I had to switch. There's another ride service through Chesterfield that I still use sometimes now.
Oh, they have specific services to Chesterfield?
Yeah. So the one that I know specifically is called Chesterfield Access on Demand. And as long as you live within the limits of Chesterfield, you can qualify if you're disabled or if you're above a certain age. And they take you to your appointments. I mean, they can take you anywhere. I mean, I've had them drop me off at the bar before. I mean, you know? But it's just like
You still gotta party. You still gotta live.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like Lyft or Uber. It's a regular person in their own car and they come and pick you up. And
Is there an app?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The app,
Can't do it, Tony. Yeah.
Come and
he might be. But yeah, it's great. And the rides are only $6 a ride, which is, you know, way more cost effective than Lyft or Uber, depending on where you're going.
You still have the tip?
No.
No.
It's just $6 even. I mean, I guess maybe I could give them cash if I wanted to, but I honestly never thought about it until now.
They were like, I ain't going to get them from She cheap as hell. I took her to Target, Walmart, took the baby to Kohl's to get some new shoes.
Yeah, more recently, she called me at work and she said, oh my God, Mom, And I said, what'd you do? She said, Bobby took me up to the nail salon, and I get out of his truck, and I told Bobby that the ground felt weird when I'm walking. You want to finish it?
Two different shoes.
Two different shoes.
She had on a Birkenstock and a slide.
Like a rubber one.
Like those big...
A Schmirkenschlag.
Yeah.
That's German.
A big gray slide.
I don't
And
know
a
how I didn't
Birkenstock.
notice it. Walk into the truck. I guess because I was walking like through the front yards. I was walking,
Yeah.
but when I got on the asphalt, and this lady hears me in the parking lot, and she's laughing at me, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "Bobby, switch shoes with me." He's like, "What? So I can look ridiculous if I switch shoes with you?" I was like, "Oh my god, this is so embarrassing."
But so did you leave with the little pedicure slippers?
No, I just hoped that nobody was going to pay attention to my shoes.
Oh Lord. Were you getting a manicure or pedicure?
I mean, I was getting my nails done. So luckily, my feet were under.
You should have got your feet done and you got them little
I probably
pedicure
needed to
slippers
get my
just to
feet
walk
done.
up out there and look like normal.
Yeah, yeah. Or oh my god, or the time we had been having a couple
I'm
beers the
loving
night
these.
before.
I'm loving these little
We had been having a couple beers the night before. My husband was going to his brother's to help him do something. So that night, before I went to bed, I was like, all right, let me go ahead and take some Tylenol just to, get ahead of any potential headache I could have in the morning. So I wake up, I'm like, God, that Tylenol didn't do anything. And, I'm home alone with Riley that day because Bobby's gone. And I go downstairs to the linen closet and I grab the same bottle I got the night before. And I'm like, I don't look like Tylenol. Well, that's because it was Dulcolax.
a stool softener.
It's not gentle and it's not overnight.
Oh my God.
I'm putting Riley to bed.
And you run into the
And I'm
bathroom.
like, okay, Riley, I'm getting your bed because Mama's got to go. I mean, you just can't make this stuff
One more
up.
funny story.
Yeah.
Remember the one out at Lake Shawnee, I think? Well, when you, that's when you first started dating Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? When you
Oh.
fell in?
I've just fallen in a couple
Oh,
times.
no, I've fallen in a couple times. Oh, no, it was not. I've not fallen in at Lake Shawnee, but me and Bobby's first date, he took me.
That's it.
We went to Sports Page, and then we went to Watkins Landing, and I walked right off the end of the dock into the water.
It's not funny.
Shoes and all. My phone was in my pocket.
Oh, my
So
God.
Bobby and this guy that was trying to get his boat out of the water, they hoisted me back up, looked like a wet sack of potatoes. Bobby jumped in after my phone, and he found it with his feet. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to marry you. And then a year and a half later, he proposed to me
That
on that
is
exact same dock.
hilarious.
Thank God I did not fall in that dock.
Oh my
Didn't
God.
you fall in twice off that dock?
No, the other time I fell in was on another dock.
Okay.
We were at Bobby's cousin Chris.
She was
Oh,
gonna
in
get-
Lake
Yeah.
Shawnee, yes. We were at Bobby's cousin Chris's house, and
Yeah.
I just,
And they were going to get married on a dock, except
Yeah,
for it was on
yeah,
raining
yeah.
that day.
yeah, that was,
So Becky,
yes.
we're almost out of time. So what would you say to a young person with impairment, whether it be vision impairment, their hearing, or mental impairment? What would you tell them?
I
Because
think,
I love your energy, I love your spirit, and you never give up. And like I've known you since you were a baby, when you were born. And so I just love your tenacity. I love how you don't give up. I love your humor. And I just love the fact that you don't stop living.
well, you can't, I mean, I, out of my brothers, was the one to get this for a reason. And it doesn't have to slow me down.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Things could be worse. And, it is what it is. Like, this is me. I would not be the person I am today if I had 20/20 vision. The whole trajectory of my life would have been different.
Completely.
And so I think to anybody who has any sort of, impairment, I think do your research, utilize the services that are available to you. And, I had a hard time with that when I was younger. Within the last couple years, I've really just kind of become more comfortable with using my cane. I should have been using it, long before now, but I was a teenager and I was in college and I didn't want to use it. There were probably plenty of times, like, when I was on that dock, that I should have had the cane, but you need to, utilize the resources that are available to you. Like I said, I know that the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired have great caseworkers. Obviously, I don't know much about any other impairments, but my aunt is a sign language interpreter. So, I know,
Lou.
yeah, Laurie Malheros. I know that that they have a lot of programs through the Department for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. So there are state agencies for all of this stuff. And to reach out to them and just utilize the services that they have. I mean, the state of Virginia, has bought me every laptop I've ever had.
That's
and,
awesome.
they give me nice computers. I got a 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Oh, wow.
They're not being cheap.
Oh, wow.
They're not giving me
You got a
Chromebooks.
MacBook.
Yeah. So, even just like from a financial aspect, especially people who are in school or you might need like equipment for work. I mean, those can be expensive.
Yes.
So to really just kind of use the resources that are available to you and, to just try to find like a support group. But I can't speak to any other impairment but my own. I mean,
Sure.
even visual impairments is just such a spectrum. Mm-hmm. But life is just too short. I mean,
Absolutely.
Things could be so much worse. And I mean, I'm just grateful for what I have. And,
Exactly.
I'm just trying to make the most of it. And like I said, I have great friends and great families. And, my kids are great. I have 2 step kids as well. And they're wonderful. They always help me. And, my husband's great. So, just having a support system and, just try not maybe to get so down on yourself.
Yeah.
We were handed this this deck of cards for a reason.
Yeah.
And, most people don't get dealt more than what they can handle. So
Exactly. Yeah. Heather, any final closing thoughts? Any words on how it's been for you to see her from where she started to where she is currently as a parent?
I'm just so proud of her.
Absolutely.
In every aspect of her life, she's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I think anybody that knows her would probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
no, thank you.
I think she's a good,
And she's beautiful as well.
she kind of cute. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. And thank you for enlightening so many people because, as we said earlier, a lot of people don't realize that there's resources out there that's available for them. And they too can be a shining star like you are.
Yeah. I mean, social media, there's such a big presence there. I mean, I see videos on TikTok all the time of other moms and people with Stargardt's disease as well.
Yeah.
And, so, even if you can just kind of immerse yourself in this community of other people who can relate to you. I mean, there's people in my life who can sympathize with me, but there's nobody in my life that can relate to me.
Yeah.
And so maybe finding somebody who can, is huge.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. So, until the next time, stay connected. I'm Tony Taylor, and I'm the Connector. We're out.